Hi, hi. Thank you, everyone, for taking a few minutes out of your day to join me here at Facebook Live. I appreciate taking the time out of your busy day. My name is Mark Fraire. I am the director of Dane County Arts and Cultural Affairs, also known as Dane Arts. And tonight, I'm just going to give you an overview of some of the activity going on with the arts throughout Dane County, the impact that COVID is having on us, some of the activities that we're doing related to Dane Arts, and of course the 2020 Dane Arts Buy Local 2-day art market, which in itself has changed and it's kind of changed over the years as well. But Dane County Arts and Cultural Affairs rests in the heart of county government. I have the pleasure of serving within the executive office, and I report directly to County Executive Parisi. The mission of Dane Arts is to support the arts, history, and culture of Dane County, and it's my job to continue to raise the visibility of the arts across disciplines to show the economic, cultural, creative, and community impact the arts generate across all arenas. And I think it's significant, and we have the evidence to show that. But really, I appreciate you being here this evening. We are going through some horrendous activities and times and hours that we spend, and we're just trying to figure new ways of being innovative and creative. And the arts are truly an economic driver in that vein. When you think about the arts, you realize that 72% of corporate America CEOs believe that two things are critical to hiring an employee. They want that employee to be innovative and creative. And we all know that that doesn't happen in any other field other than really the arts. So it's really critical that people participate and be a part of the creative economy and what the arts generate for all of us. For me, it is really about showing the economic impact of the arts across all arenas. In 2016, Dane Arts did an economic impact study with Americans for the Arts, and the impact study was to determine the kind of economic engine that's driving Dane County. And we found, based on the numbers of 2015, in 2016, over $250 million went right back into the local economy through arts and culture. For example, if you live in Dane County and you purchase a ticket to a ticketed event here in Dane County to go to an arts event, my research shows that you spend an additional $18 to go to that event that has nothing to do with that event. It could be dinner out, could be parking, babysitting, hairstylist, whatever, but you are spending additional dollars that don't even impact that arts event itself, but has an economic engine within Dane County. If you live outside of Dane County, the research shows that you spend an additional $33 to be part of that event. And it is significant. So we know that the arts are an economic driver. In Dane County, $250 million. That's 250 million reasons to tell people they need to support the arts. In the state of Wisconsin, it's a $96 billion industry. And across the country, it's about $764 billion industry. It is ahead of agriculture, transportation, and tourism. So don't let anybody think otherwise, that the arts are not important and critical to the livelihood of who we are as a community and as a people. And I'm grateful that County Executive Parisi believes in the arts and supports it on many different levels. So we're grateful to have Dane County Arts and Cultural Affairs as part of our economic driver for the city of Madison and Dane County. But we wanted to take a few minutes tonight to just talk to you about all the activities that are going on here in Dane County with Dane Arts. It is a 42-year-old office, primarily driving grants, a poster and calendar that are done annually, and that's been the way for the past 40 years, 35, 40 years in this office. I'm moving now into my 7th year. And when County Executive Parisi hired me, I was very clear that the arts are an economic driver and that I will take this job if I'm able to do the work that I think is critical to the importance of the arts in everybody's life. He agreed with me, he hired me, and I've been here, and we've changed a lot of formats within Dane County. It wasn't easy, but we continue to strive to make sure that the arts are accessible to everybody that wants to participate. And we want to introduce the arts, at a whole new level for everybody to have access. Just recently, the Dane Arts Commission, which determines who gets awarded here at Dane County Arts and Cultural Affairs, Dane Arts has a commission of 11 members now. One member is a county supervisor, all appointed by the county executive, and the idea is for them to help coordinate the work that this office thinks is critically important to the livelihood of the arts. So last week, we finally were able to have a grant review of all the applications that were submitted to Dane Arts in Cycle 1. Each year, we present about $250,000 in funds to various arts organizations and individual artists around Dane County, but we get 3 times almost that amount in request. In 2020, for Cycle 1, we had over $350,000 in requests for Dane Arts for funding. We only had about $135,000 to give. We had over 85 arts organizations and individual artists applying for funds. Approximately, I think 76 were awarded. No arts organization received anywhere near its request. Although the commission awards these, determines the outcomes of the funds, they are always very clear about wanting to fund more arts organizations than not. Lately, in the past couple of years, because of the work of Dane Arts, we are getting more individual artists to apply, and they should. We have a couple different systems in which they can fit into. The one would be the short order grant, which is about $1,000 for a project you want to do. And of course, the project grant, which is up to $5,200 in request per cycle. You can apply 3 times in a year. You can be awarded 3 times in a year, but you can't request more than $10,000. So we do our best at Dane Arts to make sure that funding goes as far as possible, but we know with COVID-19, there's going to be a drastic change in how the funds are being distributed, not only through the arts, but throughout the county, in region, state, and nationally. Right now, we know that there have been several organizations that have contacted Dane Arts and indicated that they cannot move forward with their project. They've canceled projects because of COVID-19, and we're trying to figure the best way to help those individual organizations still sustain their livelihood, because it is going to be detrimental to so many different arts organizations here across the nation in determining how best we need to move forward and still sustain the work that most of these arts organizations are able to achieve. We've had about, as I said, 8 or 9 organizations cancel. So what Dane Arts has decided to do, and I recommended the commission accept this idea, is that we will allow arts organizations that receive funding to realign their project, figure a new way to make it happen. If they need to change or cancel, Dane Arts will work with you on whatever is necessary to make sure that you can still achieve the work that you want to do, whether you realign your grant, whether the project is canceled, or whether the project moves into 2021. We are here to help you and do our best to align the work that you need to do. All we're asking arts organizations and individual artists to do is to contact Dane Arts so that we can work with you on realigning how those dollars are going to be spent. But we are willing to work with you, and we certainly will. And I need to let you know that Dane Arts is always available to help you at any time in doing the programming that you want to do, reviewing drafts, helping you write the narrative for a grant. We only ask, or I only ask, because it's a one-person office, I do have some assistance from a part-time employee, that you contact Dane Arts in advance, a couple, 3 weeks before the grant is due, and I am willing to help you navigate the waters for generating a grant. It's what I do, and I know I'm able to help you, but I rarely get requests to review drafts, and I'm asking all of you to do so. We want to help you, and we want to make sure you succeed. Again, the commission decides the awards 2 times a year. The next cycle deadline is August 1st, 2020. We hope we're in a different world then, but we're not sure because we already know that the summer festivals are canceled. And that is drastic to many of these organizations that are dependent on these festival dollars to drive the programming that they do. Many of the programs they achieve are community related or educationally based, or working with young people, working with communities, in poverty ridden neighborhoods, working with folks who really need to have access to the arts or participate on some level, getting the same pleasure and joy that those of us who are privileged allowed to enjoy. But it's going to be brutal. All the festivals have been canceled for the summer. Opera in the Park, all the Central Park festivals, Willie Street is still up in the air for September, but Lafette, Waterfront, we're not sure about Orton Park, but I'm guessing with the way that we have to be 6 feet apart and anywhere in any kind of sharing of our communities and neighborhoods, those are probably going to be canceled too. But we're still asking you to support the arts. These festivals and events are going to be canceled, but the programming still needs to continue. And we know, and you know as well as I do, that what is saving you right now, while you're locked in safe at home, and I hope you are the arts, theater, dance, film, literary, performance, music, performance, alternative, multidisciplinary. Everyone is turning to some form of the arts, some form of the creative economy to figure out how to sustain their livelihoods right now, how to feel better, how to cope, how to manage, how to just get a smile back on our faces because of everything that we faced. And it's everybody. It's not a certain segment of the community. It is everybody. So right now we need to remember that it's the arts that are saving you right now, whether you're streaming or however you're managing to enjoy life as we stay locked in at home. So remember that as the arts are the one saver that's really making a difference in your life, and that when the things change, and they will, as we say in yoga all the time, this too will pass. So stay focused, help continue to grow the arts, and we'll continue to do our best here at Dane Arts. My worry, of course, are for all the producing organizations here in Madison. They are solely reliant in many ways on ticket buying and the revenue for tickets. So a couple things you can do: donate those tickets if you wish, rather than going to the show or asking for a refund. Find ways of providing gift certificates, making sure you honor the artists, many of whom are so desperately in need right now. For many artists that I call independent working artists, their livelihoods are dependent on making sure they made money through the music or dance or programming that they create as individual working artists. So it is a haunting time right now for the arts, and everybody is turning to the arts right now, but we still need to make sure we sustain and support and do everything we can to continue to build the spirit and the soul of all of us who are creating the arts. 2 weeks ago, in the middle of COVID-19, trying to figure out best how can Dane Arts have an impact? What can Dane Arts do? We have some pool of dollars from private funders that would go to various programming throughout the year. I decided I think what needed to be done was we needed to help individual working artists immediately. And I say IWA, individual working artists, because a lot of folks are artists, but these IWAs are dependent on that income to generate revenue to sustain their livelihoods. It's a good part of money that they make from performances or presentations or workshops or festivals in which they feed their family and they pay their bills. So I created Dane Arts Need Grant. Dang is what I called it. Dang. I was going to call it Dane Arts Material Need. Damn. But I stuck with dang because I thought it was a softer approach to getting eyes up and saying, let's make a difference. So we allocated $15,000 on a Friday afternoon, put out the word through a press release. By Sunday morning, I had over 90 requests for supporting artists, individual working artists. The dollars that they were to receive were $250. That's about 60 to 70 artists. I had so many requests, I increased the pool to $21,000 out of the budget, so that individual artists that applied and came in Sunday morning still had an opportunity to receive those dollars. The idea was that you'd put those dollars towards programming or towards software or upgrades that you needed for your work so that you can continue to, right now, like everybody, stream online and create wonderful art so people can enjoy it. Those dollars were quickly used up. I'm struggling to figure out how best we can continue this. I've talked to the county executive's office. It's quite possible we can find additional funding, but those dollars have now been spent. So DANG was a great idea, short-lived. It got great press, but it's never nearly enough to help all the individual working artists because of COVID-19. So IWAs, individual working artists, are truly suffering. They are creative people. And a lot of non-arts people don't understand this, that when these creative types, these artists wake up in the morning or in the middle of the night, it's to create. It's something they have to do. It's not something they get up in the morning, shower, and go to for a job. There are people who have jobs, and most artists have two jobs, but it's creating. So right now in COVID-19, they're still creating. So I thought DANG would be an opportunity to at least help on some level. So be sure and support these individual artists and do what's necessary for them to at least keep their livelihood alive, so we keep them engaged and still living here in Madison, which is not a cheap place to live, as you know. So be sure and sign up for our Dane Arts newsletter at danearts.com. Be sure you go to daneartsmuralarts.org, the mural program. Make sure you go to dabblemarket.com, our two-day art market, Dane Arts by Local, which I'll talk about in just a second. Make sure that you do all that to keep the arts alive and on your mind. But we really want you to sign up for the newsletter at Dane Arts so you get up-to-date monthly information about all that's going on through Dane Arts. Also, make sure you go to the Wisconsin Arts Board, which is artsboardwisconsin.gov. Go to Arts Wisconsin, artswisconsin.org, and go to Americans for the Arts, americansforthearts.org. These organizations have a wealth of data about what's happening related to COVID and other opportunities for you to sustain your livelihood through loans or whatever is necessary for you to continue to make ends meet. Is it easy? No, but I don't know any artist in all the years I've done this as a career going on 35, 40 years that hasn't faced challenges and just simply being an artist. So be sure to visit the Dane Arts website and register for our newsletter. Right now is also the time to be proactive in your skills. When I'm asked all the time recently because of COVID what my suggestion is to individual working artists and to some of these artists thinking about the arts as a career, build another skill set. Take some classes right now online on a different arena, a technical field that you may have an interest in that applies to your work as an individual artist. See what else is out there in terms of jobs that are available, because it is going to be a long time in coming. I would say at least another 6 to 10 months before we even get back to what might be some normalcy in our lives. Certainly, the producing arts organizations like theaters and dance may even have a longer wait, because one of the dilemmas they face because of ticket buying and needing to go to a performance, they're not going to be able to fill the theaters as they used to because we just have to have social distancing. So artists, tough love, build another skill set. And I know this personally from my own experience. Having only a bachelor's degree, when I was working at the Wisconsin Arts Board, I knew I needed a master's. I wanted an MBA. I knew it needed to be in finance. I needed to understand corporate analysis, how businesses run. So I borrowed $60,000 from the bank, and I got my MBA over a 2-year program because I know that was the only way I could survive. I borrowed the money. Yep. When students ask me, should they go in debt? Yep, go in debt, borrow the money, do whatever you need to do because you're going to need that advanced degree. We already know the research is out there. You have more than one degree, you have more than a high school degree, you earn a higher revenue, a higher salary. That's just the facts. That's the research. So while I'm not discouraging you from continuing your art, I'm encouraging you to also develop another skill set. So visit groups like Dane Arts Mural Arts. They're an amazing program. They've done over 50, 60 murals to date, all community driven. They've done a number of storm drains. They are artists struggling every day to make ends meet. Dane Arts Mural Arts came out of this office with Sharon Kilfoy, Amita Roller, and Alicia Rayal, and me coming up with the idea that we could build community by doing murals. So they are a fabulous organization with fabulous artists. But tonight we wanted to go for a few more minutes before we close off, so I don't bore you too much, is to talk about Dane Arts by Local. In 2015, I started the Dane Arts by Local Night Market. And the idea was based on conversations I had with a lot of artists about ways to help them create avenues for opportunities to sell their work. One of the biggest disadvantages for artists, individual working artists, is managing and administering their art. So it's really clear that Dane Arts as an office in the county could have some impact to provide some resources and support, but we want to do it in a creative way. It's just not doing grants alone or the poster and calendar, which are valuable. It's finding other innovative ways to make sure we get the connection between business and the arts in a B2B type setting. So in 2015, after talking with a number of folks, in particular, Megan Blake Hurst, I'm sorry if I pronounced your last name wrong, Megan Blake Hurst, who was running Mad City Bazaar, had just closed it, and she started doing pop-up markets around Madison. I went to a couple of them. They were amazing. They were innovative. They were new. They were just beginning. And immediately I bonded with Megan, and I asked her to please join me in Dane Arts and helping me build a buy local market, preferably a night one, and she did. Also back then, 100 State was just developing. I went to 100 State. I met Brent Gerlach, who was the artist in resident there. We talked, and he was really energetic and fabulous. I asked Brent to join DABL and be a part of what we wanted to do for the community. He was right on board. Brent brought Dorina, his partner, and then in 2016, as Dane Arts Night Market grew, we first had it at the U.S. Bank building, across the street from the Capitol. It was a night market, 4 hours only, business to business. We invited business leaders to come buy art directly from small business owners, artists. It was a party-like setting in the big glass building across from the Capitol. It was fun. It was in the lobby. We had a panel of experts in business and art for a small panel discussion. We had music and dance, food and drink, and much, much art was sold. It was a wonderful atmosphere, but artists were very clear 4 hours on a Thursday night, loading in and loading out, was not efficient and not worth the time. We did that 2 years. It was very successful. We quickly outgrew the space, and we knew we had to go beyond just Madison. So we started looking outside of Madison and ended up going to the Yahara Bay Distillers in Verona. We did 2 years there with a 2-day art market. We went from a night market to a 2-day market, very successful, but it was Verona and construction, and there was, a lot of challenges, but it was still very successful. In 2020, in early January, I brought the team together, Sarah, Megan, and Adalia Hernandez Abrego, who's the part-time staff worker with me, an amazing kid, 20-year-old classical pianist at UW, senior, going to graduate. Is into the master's program at UW for another year. So I've got her into 2021. Fabulous kid, but I'm going to need another part-time employee. So think about that. I'm looking for someone who's energetic, bright, and hungry to learn about the arts, someone who's got skills, someone who can be on his or her own and doing the work, great pay, great benefits, and you're working at Dane Arts. So I look for that in the future, but I'm grateful to have Sarah, Megan, and Adalia right now. So we met in January of this year, and there have been a lot of art markets. Dane Arts by Local was doing pop-up markets last year. We were starting to really get a lot of pop-up markets going and saturating the field. So January, when we met as a team, I started thinking about, can we do more workshops and classes for individual artists and more across discipline, not just visual artists. In 2017, we started doing workshops the month before the October annual event for those who were part of the market. We did workshops on social media, marketing, taxes, other opportunities for artists. And last year, in 2019, we partnered with Promega, and it was a great partnership. We did a full exhibition from September through December at Promega of 8 fabulous DABL artists. We also had, and if you know Promega, they do outstanding art exhibitions with Daniel Sweidner. We had a public presentation. It was very exciting. We also had the annual market in October, but we had 4 fabulous workshops during the month of September at Promega. Great setting, great environment. We had a workshop by Doreen Ayu on social media, very well received. We had a workshop by Walter Jankowski, who is a for-profit business strategic entrepreneur called Art Entrepreneurism, on how you build your art enterprise as an entrepreneur. We had a workshop with Tom Linfield on writing grants, the mystical grant writing. It was a fabulous 4-hour workshop that Tom led. And we had Helen Kleber Saddle do her workshop on opportunities for the independent working artist. But we knew in 2020, based on all that happened, we had to grow Dane Arts by Local. We had to do more for more artists rather than just visual. So in 2020, even before COVID hit, we were thinking of doing classroom presentations throughout the year. COVID hit, and we really knew then we had to do classes. It was a given. However, the classes, rather than being in person, we're all going to be online. So we've got a set of workshops and classes set up. It's entirely exciting. Sarah and Megan and Adalia are right now programming what the next several months are going to be like. Tonight's the introduction to that. It's going to be a great opportunity for you to learn new skills, to ask questions and make things happen. So tonight is the introduction. The next one will be Wednesday, May 6th, 7 p.m. We'll have a Zoom account. Go to dabblemarket.com to get a sense of the registration form, to get an idea of the workshops over the next several months. We are extremely ecstatic about the first few workshops because they are going to really bring new ideas and information to all those artists that participate. There is no cost to participate. Dane Arts is assuming all the costs to make this happen. Every facilitator gets paid. Some facilitators donate their funds back to Dane Arts. Some take the dollars and invest them. So that's perfectly fine. But we make sure that we pay everybody that we ask to work with Dane Arts through contracted services. But to you, the individual artist, there will be no charge. I'm not saying it's free, because the arts are not free. They cost money, and they will cost Dane Arts several thousands of dollars. But we think it's critically important to put those dollars to where our mouths are, and our mouths are right now in the middle of a pandemic, and we want to help you help yourself. So May 6th, we have a great workshop coming up with Rachel Warner. Rachel Warner is a social media guru. She's a digital manager. She works currently at Taliesin as the social manager, digital guru. I keep saying guru because I don't know the title exactly. But she's going to do a workshop on social media, the ins and outs, the how-tos. And you can get more information on the workshop itself at dabblemarket.com. But Rachel and I have met over the past couple of years, and she's done a number of these workshops, and we're very excited to have Rachel kick off the opening of the Dane Arts by Local Market with the 2020 May 6th event at 7 p.m. On Zoom. So please go to Dabble Market. We want you to be a part of that. The May 20th workshop is really exciting. Can you tell? I have been working with Birdwell Solutions. These are 5 or 6 young folks in their 20s who are programmers and software experts and engineers who created a platform which we now call Dane Arts Professional Artist Registry, dapper. We all want to look dapper. So Dane Arts Professional Artist Registry is a social media platform application in which you can apply as an individual artist across disciplines. It's not just visual artists. We'll put your information up onto the application. We'll give access to viewers, and we'll have an e-commerce component to it. We'll help you try to sell your art or build tours for your band or find dance programming opportunities, whatever the discipline is. We want you to come to the May 20th, 7 p.m. streams so that you can talk to and learn about Dane Arts Professional Artist Registry. Birdwell Solutions. The name comes from Birdwell, and that's from the book, the children's book Clifford. The city was called Birdwell. So these kids have come up with that title. They've helped me a number of months. That goes to the individual artists on May 20th, and then we hope to have a public opening in the middle of June that will announce the site so that we can get people to register and participate. We really wanted to have this as a blowout party in person, but now we'll do what we can to make sure that everybody gets access to Dane Arts Professional Artist Registry. So Dane Arts has DABL, the Dane Arts Buy Local Market. We got DAMA, Dane Arts Mural Arts. We also have DADA, Dane Arts Dance Arts, where we did some performances with Liz Sexy and a number of choreographers. We hope to revive that. Dane Arts Dance Arts, DABL, DAMA, DANG, and now DAPPER, Dane Arts Professional Artist Registry. So we are working to do our best. We have a wealth of workshops. We want you to participate. We want you to check them out. We want to make sure that you're part of all that's going on with Dane Arts. Be sure and register for the Dane Arts newsletter. I want you to be sure that you understand that Dane Arts is here to assist you in any way possible in the work that you do. We have commission meetings every month. We have a wonderful group of commissioners led by Rod Richardson, the chair of the commission, who's done a fabulous job. We have a wonderful executive committee of Mary Claire, Tracy Williams-Macklin, Steve Morgan, and Rod Richardson. And we have a group of fabulous commissioners. I am looking for commissioners to participate on the Dane Arts Commission, as I am losing a couple commissioners. And if you're interested, please contact me at Dane Arts. But I want you to remember and really understand in 2020, Dane Arts will continue to be about community and building community. And we want you to help us build that community, because if I'm seeing anything right now with the COVID, I am seeing incredible generosity happening across many different neighborhoods. I want that to continue, and I want the arts to be a part of that and helping us to become kinder, better within our communities, helping everybody help each other. So thanks for tuning in. I'm long-winded. I hope I didn't move too quickly through this. I have a tendency to speak too fast. But I want you to know that Dane Arts and the members of Dane Arts and the team will be here in 2020 and 2021, 22, 23, and on to make sure we do the best we can to help you help yourself. Thanks for tuning in, and have a good night.